class to dinner. Good day. My name is Professor Sean.Watts. Welcome to the class, International Strategic Management. I'm happy to teach you and talk to you about some of these details. Today, being the first class, I'm going to talk about something that I hear many other people complain about, the idea that people teach business, they teach strategy, but people don't actually teach life strategies or the basic strategies of money management. I've heard a lot of people regret that they go all the way through business school, they get a degree in business, and they still don't know what a credit rating is for their credit card, or how a credit card can help them, or how they can do well in life. So today, I'm going to talk quite a bit about the big picture, about how you can get what you want. Why are you studying business? Why are you studying strategy, strategic management? I will teach several different topics as we went through. I'm showing this screen now where this is the overall pictures and images of our strategy outline. And we have everything in Zoom. So there's the Zoom links to join here, my contacts, the email address to contact me with, the Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn details if you want to check my background. There's the outline, the objectives for the class, and overall, the important thing is we have two main assignments. We have one weekly assignment that you only need to do 1 week, and it's a PPT talking about our weekly topic, and that's worth 20 marks. And then everything else is combined into one. So you do a term project and you present that by midterm, and that's worth 30 marks. And then you can continue to upgrade it because the PPT will be very relaxed, very easy. I'll basically be just giving away 100 marks as long as you're participating. And the final is updating your paper to hand in something that you're proud of. And the first assignment, again, the weekly topic, you don't present every week, although you can talk if you want. We start by talking about life strategies for success, new ventures, etc. And then we get into week 2, we talk about the introduction of academic strategy. What is the definition of international strategic management? And then we get into personal strategies, personal and professional strategies to understand your culture and how to develop. Then the external environment. Then we get into internal environment. And so you can see each of these topics is what we will be teaching. And I already have PPT that are set up, and there's an article that will talk about it and videos related to it, so you can review these. Pick one of these, and this is your small assignment. So I will teach it, but I also ask you to present anything related to the same topic too. Is that understood, Mr. Jung and Camille? So there's
yes.
Pick any one of these and present about that once. If you want to present many, go ahead. I encourage you to do that. And the other one is find something and continue to research, and we'll talk about it each week going forward, and you become a specialist in the strategic management of that. And you present your whole project by midterm, and then the final, you get to record upgraded details and add to it and present it in a Word file at the end of the term. So to present these details, I'm going to start by introducing myself. After I introduce myself and the general idea of the class, and I present the more information about the assignments, I would like you guys to introduce yourself to each other so that we know not only who you are, but why you're taking the class and what you would like me to tailor the class to help you. So overall, times are changing. Everybody knows that COVID-19, coronavirus, is changing the world. We have globalization changing a lot of things. We have the move to do things and work online. We have the industrial 4.0 revolution, and we also have the migration to focus more on China and Vietnam and Korea and Japan, East Asia or Southeast Asia. You should use this environment and use the numerous opportunities available, including me. I work for you, you're the student, you're paying tuition. Some students I let in for free, whatever. I work for the students, so make me help you develop the strategy to get what you're most interested in. With these rapid changes, many people are now open to these new activities. Even more than before, executives and professors from around the world will often talk to us and mentor you. Last semester, we were fortunate. We had several top executives from Samsung as visiting professors for class, and they were mentoring students that had similar interests. These executives also offered some of the students a grant worth about $1 million. I'll explain that a little bit later. I see that there's some people making some chats. I can't easily go through the chats as we're teaching. So Ms. Hua or Ina, can you manage the chats? And if so, you can jump in and interrupt me anytime. Again, with that said, with the executives and professors around the world, because coronavirus is making people think about online and work online, anybody you want to talk to, please let us know, and maybe we can contact them and get them to come and join our class, give an appearance, a guest appearance in class, or be a visiting professor if they qualify to join our class, or just give a short talk with the class. Last class we just finished, I was very happy that a student suggested, hey, let's get Elon Musk to join our class. And I think it's an awesome idea. I definitely admire. He thinks very strategically. He thinks outside the box. He's definitely not following blindly what everybody else is doing. I encourage you to do the same. So I will ask you to introduce yourself, ask you to maybe suggest a topic you would like to talk about, and maybe a person you would like to invite to the class. And of course, what is your dream and future you want to develop? In addition to the Samsung executives last semester, I also had professors from Vietnam, professors from Korea, professors from Denmark, from Romania, through Europe, other countries. This semester, I will probably be having a professor from Hong Kong talk to us several times. She's focused on this. So anybody that you want to join, it's possible they can. Leverage my education, my capabilities, my resources, and let's try to leverage these other people. There is one academic research that I will be teaching. The best way, the best strategy to manage to get success is to understand what you are, what you want, and realize that's small. It's just one. Understand that there's 1 billion other people, or there's 8 billion other people out there. If you can tap in and manage the ideas and thinking of many other people, that theory is called wisdom of crowds. And it is a fact that the wisdom of crowds, just asking a big group of strangers questions, almost always produces better results than if you ask somebody like Stephen Hawking or a famous expert, because the wisdom of crowds leverages more brain power. So we should be trying to do that. You should be trying to do that. Even though I have worked with 120 different countries, 13 years of regular elementary school, middle school, high school. My last year of high school was up to grade 13. Plus I had 17 years of formal university training, plus on-the-job training. The last 20 years as a professor. I've got a little bit of experience, and I've been a consultant and executive for over 20 years also. I have a little bit of information I'd like to share, but it only helps if you ask many questions and tell me what your interests are. So I work for you to develop your education, happiness, and success. Let's strive for a better future. Start planning this now. Anybody understand this green thing? This actually, last class, a student asked about Elon Musk. This is a quote from Elon Musk. He was talking about how he's so surprised. So many of the people work really hard doing what other people say, and they don't get really anything done. Well, he is like the owner. He's running many of the world's biggest, most famous companies, and it's all a full-time job. How many companies is he on? Tesla, obviously. SpaceX is another. He's the Boring Company. Not boring going you to sleep, but he has another company called the Boring. He has got Tesla solar panels, neural networks, the internet company around the world. So there's many companies that he relates to and runs, and he can get lots more done. He says he still has lots of time. He says everybody has the same amount of time. But it's limited. 168 hours per week, 40 hours generally working, 56 hours sleeping. So you have 72 hours extra. Stop wasting your time and start doing it. That's one strategy. I want you to do it. Don't just follow me in class. Talk about something. Tell me who you are, what you're interested in. So I don't talk about strategies for general other people. I do something that will help you. Sometimes the results can be very good. Has anybody read the chats? Anybody want to share with me what this group chat is saying, since I don't have time to read it in front of everybody?
No, it's just my message.
Okay.
Remind students they can use the group chat anytime. So just go ahead.
Great. This is too much information. Well, that's who I am. I am a guy that has been a consultant and a teacher. I believe my job is I'm paid for researching and getting a lot of information. And as a consultant, I'm paid to give information to other people. So I give them a hell of a lot more information than they ask for, because I found, and so far my customers appreciate this extra information. Same thing with students. So I'm going to give you more information than you ask. You do not have to go through everything. You have to ask questions if you don't understand. And a lot of the time, if you don't understand the point, you're not going to get any benefit, even if I give you just a small amount. So I'm going to fly through this and show you what I think it means. And then we're going to talk about this a little bit later. Overall, with international strategic management, the idea of strategy is a way to get to your goals. So if you look here, the top right corner of our slide, it shows the big 20-year or later, your dream goals to get success, whatever that is, whether it's happiness, whether it's money, whether it's fame, whether you want to have, I don't know, a tropical island selling pigs, I don't know, but make your dreams. And then you need to think, what is your strategy to get there? So you analyze your current situation, you analyze your future situation, and you make a path to get there. I just wrote it out. And in addition to that, so I'm teaching the whole class in one picture. What we will get to this, what are the details? We'll talk about it a little later. Ideally, you should be talking about this every day. You can talk about it on your own. You should be writing it down. I want you to talk about this with me, and I'll help develop these things, like introducing you to other books, like 7 Habits Highly Effective People, or the same author wrote First Things First. There's many books I can recommend. I have a personal collection of, I don't know, probably 1,000 different books online that I have bought and paid for. I can share them with you if you want that too. This other picture that we have over here with the big red circle and the green check mark is also quite important. I'm going to fly through it quickly, and then I'll repeat some of the details later. But the general idea is most people don't work wisely. They just do what somebody else says. And so if a teacher tells them to do classwork, they do it, they write, and then after the exam, what happens with their classwork? So, Mr. Jung, I appreciate you being in class. Can you tell me the name of classes you studied last year? Any class name. What did you study last year?
I studied international marketing.
Good. I know some other people in our group that will like to talk about that. What else?
And then service marketing. I think, I don't know exactly what the name is, but it's about the basic.
That's my point. Good. That is my point. The fact that some people work very hard, and then a few months later, it's all forgotten. That is my point.
Yes, exactly.
And lie for me, Mr. Jung. Tell me a lie. Tell me you worked really, really hard, in that class, in the marketing class, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you finished the class, what did you get from it?
Maybe
Did you get a job? Did you market and sell a new product? Did anybody give you money?
I don't think so. But
No.
I learned some of tips how to make good presentations, something like that.
Okay, so I have a boy. I have 4 kids actually, and my youngest one, he goes to elementary school, middle school, whatever, and he studies hard, and he gets a small little sticker, like a gold star. Is it right? Let's say Camille might be from a different country. Maybe she paid $1 million in university tuition to join our class. And last year, she also paid $1 million. At the end of $1 million, are you happy with what you got from the class? Did you get something that you can use? So what do you say, Camille?
Yes.
Last year, what did you get from after you finished the class? How are you a better person today because of it?
Because of some tips too.
So you got some tips.
Yes.
Okay. You could walk on the sidewalk in the city, and drunk people on the sidewalk are going to give you tips. Hey, get off my shoes. So my point is, people work hard, usually doing a paper for the class, and that paper goes in the garbage at the end of the class. So Mr. Jung, you wrote probably a marketing project last year, right? Did your teacher give you an A? And then after that, can you use that project today? Is it helping you now today? Or is your paper, is your class project like this, just in the garbage can somewhere?
Honestly, the project is already in garbage.
Oh no, terrible. So that is why we have the class. So your strategy is you've probably wasted 4 months, maybe a year of your time. It just went to the garbage. So I want you to think a little bit more about it. So go outside that green check mark. You are just doing hard work. Start thinking of the bigger picture. When you're doing marketing, the only way to be successful with marketing is to understand the bigger picture, especially who you want to target. What is the needs, the wants, the desires of this other person? They like this. They care for this. They want these other things. After you know those, your offering or your abilities are these. You can find a way that you have mutual benefit. If you don't do that, you're going to be selling something that they don't care about, and they won't care. So look at the big picture of your life right now. Outside your class, what is happening? There are local companies, and there's always newspapers and magazines and journals and websites, millions of them. And there are huge multinational companies, trillion-dollar companies. That's a fact. Why don't you talk about that in your class before? Why don't you talk about it in your classes this year, in any other class? Who cares what your teacher says? You need to do a class project? Fine, do a class project related to the class, but also try to relate it to a local company. That way, your class, after you finish and you get your A, and I can easily give you an A or A plus or 100%, that's not a problem. But you can take your paper, and after you finish the class and the teacher tells you how to make it even better, then give it to the company you want to work with. Maybe you'll get a job, or you'll impress the person, or at least you'll have a relationship that might get you a job. And that's number 2. Step 2 is help some other organization. Step 3, try to publish your paper, maybe write it in a student journal or international journal, or put it in your resume. It will always keep hiring your resume. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, 6 different Zoom accounts now. If I was going to hire somebody from a job and I don't know you, and you're going to show me your resume, One person has 70% on their university score, but they have 3 publications and 70% grade point average. The other person has 80%, but no work experience and no publications. Who should I hire? Camille, what do you think? Should I hire somebody with 70% and a publication, or somebody with 80% and no experience?
The one with publication.
Right. So why don't you do that? Take your class projects and publish them anywhere so you can put it on your resume. Of course, it's better if you try to publish it in a good, respected area. I'll help you with that. That's one of it. So overall, don't follow as sheep. Start doing the work wisely. Obviously, that's pushing wise. The next thing I'll talk about a little bit later on is the idea of grants. Number one, you do not have to do our project. You don't have to do our class work related to anybody else. But I'm giving you the opportunity, and I'm encouraging you, and I will help you develop it so that it helps some other local big organization. And since Mr. Jung and Camille, you guys are interested in marketing, can you tell me who is the biggest company? What are the biggest, richest companies? What companies have the highest market cap, the highest value in the world? What are the most expensive companies on the planet? Or who does the most marketing? Any idea? Name any big company.
Maybe Apple.
Apple is good. Do you good? Any others? Camille, can you name another company that is one of the world's biggest?
L'Oreal.
L'Oreal, good. It's significantly smaller than Apple, but it is very, very big. Any idea how valuable those companies are? What is their marketing value or the marketing capital worth? How big is Apple?
I don't know.
Camille, can you guess? Is it worth $1 million? Is it $1 million company, $10 million company, $100 million company? Any guess?
I think it's in the billion, but I don't know the exact amount.
Good. $1 billion value? Okay. Mr. Jung, you want to guess? Do you think it's more or less than $1 billion? Apple company?
I think more.
How much more? Take a guess. Crazy guess. Go crazy.
Maybe some $1 trillion.
Trillion, yes. Ms. Hua or Ina, did you want to guess? Do you have any idea what is the value of Apple? How big are some of the biggest companies in the world? Mr. Jung says Apple is worth about, looks like she might be checking on the internet. She's Googling it.
I think it's 1,000 billion dollar, couple thousand billion dollar.
1,000 billion, yes, it's $1 trillion. Good, yes. Ms. Hua?
Around 2 or 3 trillion. I'll go with 2. 2 trillion.
Apple is, I believe Apple is worth about $1.6 trillion. So
Wow.
one thing is that you are aware some companies are crazy, crazy big, crazy, crazy money. And because most people don't have that, some people hate them. So they have to do marketing to make them look good so people don't hate them for having so much money. And if you really check the details, Apple makes so much money, they have to pay a lot of money back. You know that Apple, even in North America, they take their profit, they send it to the Apple in Russia, they send it to Apple in Ireland, they send it to Apple in other countries, then they bring it back and they say that, oh, Apple needed the money over there for a certain purpose. And because they did something with their money, they have lower actual revenue, so they pay less tax. And when the money for Apple goes to Ireland, when it comes out, they almost pay no tax. It's just a marketing and an accounting maneuver. Whether it's true or not, you can check, but that is one idea. It's one part of the strategy. My question is, what is the strategy for you to manage that? If they make so much money that you know some people might hate them and protest, Apple has too much money. Apple has too much money. What could you do? You should realize in the marketing department, they will have one marketing department office called a foundation office. And that foundation office, their only job is to give money back in front of journalists, in front of CNN or BBC News, so that the world sees they're giving money to help people. And that's it, to make people think they're nice and think that they care, regardless of the truth. All it is just a gift so that what they want is the journalist to take a picture of them helping students. They can't give it to other companies. They don't want competitors. They usually give it to students. You could get a grant from these big trillion-dollar multinational companies, and they will pay you to do your class work. It's not guaranteed. It is a lottery ticket, maybe 1 in 100 chance that you'll win, just like a lottery ticket, but it's possible. So at the end, don't follow as sheep. Most people just go to class because their mom says, go to class, you dumb little shit, go to class. Well, I don't want you to go to class just because somebody tells you. I want you to think of the big picture, realize what is this helping? And if this isn't helping you, tell me. I can modify our class in the first 1 or 2 weeks. I can change what we're teaching, how we're teaching, and even change the evaluation details. If you talk to me about details within the first 1 week or 2 weeks. After that 1 week, initial week, the system of what we teach and the evaluations are locked and we shouldn't change it. That's the university rule. So this last bottom part, you can see there is the link to our class formalities and this picture of the sheep. It's the picture of Sean the sheep. My name is Sean Watts. So Dr. Sean the sheep. Don't follow like every other sheep. Don't follow just other people. Try to use the class to develop your expertise soon. Would you guys like to give me any comments now? Would you like to take a bit? How about you, Hua? Would you like to start and introduce yourself and tell the group, who are you and what's your interest in international strategic management and what's your future interest?
Hello, can you hear me?
Good.
My internet is a little bit unstable. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. What were you talking about? Like introducing myself or what?
Yes, just take 5 seconds. Maybe Ina, are you able to introduce yourself in like just a few seconds? What's your name and what are you interested in doing in the future? Are you interested in any special aspect of strategy or management?
Okay, hello, I'm Ina Ho. Yeah, and my major is computer engineering now. However, really interesting. Management is really interesting field that I want to dig it more. And besides, I really interested with big data. Yes, and management with big data is the huge field that yes, excites me so much. So yes, how we can manage big data, how we can use it to get more revenue. That field I really want to know more. Yes.
Okay, great, thanks. Anybody else, Mr. Jung, Ms. Hua or Camille, would you like to introduce yourself and share a little bit with each other about that? If it helps, I can also show you the ideas of, again, this is the class outline, International Strategic Management. Week 1, we're talking about general life strategies, then the idea of the introduction to academic strategy, personal and professional strategies to develop. What aspect, who are you, and what aspect are you interested in, together with what future interests do you have?
For me, my interest is international management or international HR, because I feel like the world is moving toward international standard, like more globalized. So I think it's good to learn how to work with people from all around the world. So that's my interest.
Okay, so you're interested in learning how to better interact with people from other cultures. Is that your biggest focus?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Mr. Jung or Camille? Any special weekly topic interesting to you? And again, what is your future interests?
I'm personally interested in marketing and tourism industry because I have not really good reasons, but I just love travel. So I'm very interested in tourism industry, and I want to introduce our country's cultures and history and something like that to global people. But I want to I know there is a difference between the different countries. So I want to know how to interact other cultures, people, and I want to learn about how to effectively communicate about Korea to international people. So that's why I joined this class. Yeah.
So learn how to, again, similar to Miss Hua, learn how to interact with people around the world, especially related to marketing. Okay, good. Do you see any of the weekly topics that interest you? First, have you seen this? All of this information is available for you guys. If you go to, you can see here, Facebook.com/groups/SW, for my name, Sean Watts, SW Management MGMT that is a group that we will use for class. So if we go in here, the other day I posted our class files. This is the Zoom link here. The class outline is here. You can get the PPTs and the requirements, that's all here. So if you go through the outline, you can see these details. Any of the weekly topics interesting to you?
I'm interested in week 3 because it is really interesting to see the MBTI, because it is, isn't it the psychological test?
Yes, it is. Awesome.
Yes.
I'm happy that you know about that. Camille, do you know what MBTI is, or psychological mind game?
No, I don't know what it is.
Wow, awesome. I think if you have an interest in this, no matter what you're interested, if you learn about this, this will definitely help your future. So it's great. What about you, Camille? Would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Yes. So I'm Camille from France. I'm interested in international marketing because I love to travel also too, and international is a good opportunity for brands, or I don't know how to say, for brands to do a lot of things, to have a big a big capital.
Okay, so you're interested in learning how big companies market themselves to grow their brands, how Apple can have $1 trillion value. What is it that they do to get that $1 trillion value?
Yes.
Okay, great. If I understand correctly, Mr. Jung and Ms. Hua, you were talking a little bit about international strategy and how that works. Let me see if I can do something. And I'm going to try to share my screen and show. Can you see my screen here? That's a picture of my family. You can see that? Can you see this website now? Oops, there we go. So I heard that you guys were interested in understanding international strategy and marketing. I just thought I'd introduce you to a friend of mine, not a close friend, but I work with him sometimes. This guy, Dezo Horvath, he is a professor of strategic management. Can you guys read this? Mr. Jung, would you like to read what this chart says?
So these guys has a good educational background, and
we don't even know that.
I don't know who he is, but an employer. What does it mean?
No, his employer, he is working for a university. I know him, he's a friend. He is a teacher of the same class. So he's basically the exact same, but he is teaching it at a different university called York University in Canada.
I see.
And the university.
So he worked in York University. I don't know.
Yes,
but
that's great.
But the salary is very high, so
that's much different than, yeah.
He probably has a good educational background as well as experience.
Yes, his salary is basically $500,000 for teaching this. So if you want to learn just for money, great. We can talk about the ways you can do that. If you want to talk about things just for marketing and company brand value, we can talk about that. There's many different things that we can definitely talk about. So let's go back and get a little bit more on track. Is that of interest to you guys? The idea that we can talk about MBTI that some people don't know, or we can talk about how companies get expensive value, or we can talk about how other people just make lots of money or learn about marketing. The sooner you guys can tell me your interests, the more we can expand. So I'm going to go through and talk a little bit more about MBTI. But first, I'm going to show you a couple of things. Where is it here first? Oops, I'm trying to open. So here is the general class requirements. So for our class, you know this chart that we have, you know the contacts that I have. You are aware of what I said earlier and the time. This green box is clear to you. Do you think these numbers match you, Mr. Jung?
The numbers in the green box?
Yes, so everybody has 7 days times 24 hours a day. That's 168 hours per week. Everybody is the same. Most people are usually working about 40 hours a week. Sleep 8 hours a day times 7, 56 hours sleeping. So you have 72 hours left to do something with. So of course, most people focus on their work. They do their work so they can be successful. But they forget that most of the time, 72 hours are not planned. They don't have goals for that. They don't have plans or schedules or a system, a strategy to grow themselves. Most of your life is just floating. Does that make sense to you?
Oh yes, I 100% agree these numbers, because not many people manage the extra time. So I think that extra time is quite important. So I usually plan the morning time to manage that extra time.
Good. Most people don't. What about you, Hua or Camille? Do you agree? I think if you're from France or even Montreal, Canada, like Québécois, do you spend 40 hours working on something each week or less? In Korea, they spend more. In Vietnam, people spend more than 40 hours each week working. What type of numbers do you have?
In France, it's 35 hours per week.
The normal in United States is 34.4 hours each week they work. How much do you sleep? Last night, I was sleeping 3 hours because I had several other projects I was working on at the same time. So I sleep much less than 56 hours a week. I wish 56 hours per week. So that means I have much, much more than 72 hours to do extra things. What do you do with your time? What should, now you guess, Mr. Jung, Camille, Ms. Hua, Ina, what do you think I spend most of my time on? In my 72 hours, what should I focus on?
I think the more effort, the more pay. So yes, obviously when you pay more effort and try hard, yes, you will earn more things. Yeah.
So you think that I actually work more?
Sorry, I can hear your voice clearly.
What you were saying is you think I just work more with my extra time. Do you know, Ms. Hua, I think I heard you say you want to be a professor. Do you know how many hours a professor works?
Oh, I think from some professor, I think they work 12, 20 or even 18 or even 20 hours per day. Yeah, to work because they have many tasks to complete.
I'm not saying, okay, I'm not saying how many hours do they want to work. I'm saying, what is the actual contract? If, for example, my contract at the university, you realize that I have a certain number of hours I must be in front of students teaching. After that, I can do anything as long as I have different results. So the university asks me to work teaching students, and it works out to be about 45 hours a year. So my job, my yearly salary is just about 45 hours. But in Korea, they say they work more than 45 hours every week. So according to what Ina was saying, if I want to do better at my job, even though I only have to work 45 hours, I can work 50 hours or 60 or 100 hours a year to get more money, is what she was saying. The actual details is, no, my money comes from something completely different. Money usually comes from other things so that I can focus on just doing the job I love, not related to financial stress. Does that seem confusing to you? Let's talk about more details. So back to the class, you understand, I will give you 10 marks just for coming to class and talking about these topics. You'll get 20 marks for talking and presenting about one of the weekly topics. If you want to talk about every one of them, great. but you only need to do one. After that, the second assignment is just a specialization project. Try to develop a specialization, learn about something related to international strategic management. For example, management of marketing management or international marketing management, how to manage marketing with big data. Learn something like that and present what you find to the class by midterm, and we will give you ideas to improve. And then at the end of the semester, you write your term paper and you present that in week 14 or week 15. That is the class. Midterm, when you present your PPT, that's 30 marks, and your final paper at the end, same project, is worth 40 marks. If you have any questions related to that, let me know. It can be on any topic you want. Overall, usually most business, social sciences papers start with an introduction, background literature, methods, results, conclusion. So that is the way that you should do. But if you want to do a different style, like a business plan or some other format, you can suggest the other plan to me and we can negotiate. I will accept anything that is reasonable. None of this is new to you, right? You all know what an introduction is. You know what background literature is. You know what methodology is. If you don't know, you can look at this PPT and it explains it. You start by just writing down why it's important to you. And then you write down what other people say about it. You get some references. Those types of details are discussed here. If you care about the research methodology, it could be a qualitative or quantitative paper. I'm not focused on that, but I can help you become a specialist and get more education about how to do the proper details. Most students usually do something like a participant observer research methodology, and that just means you conduct a field-based research based on you are located in the real world. So you know a company like L'Oreal Cosmetics, you can go and contact them and you do research about L'Oreal Cosmetics. That would be a qualitative research called participant observer. If you do it for longer than just a short observation for maybe many weeks or months, then it's called ethnography. So you're doing the field research long enough so that you identify what is a normal or what are the rituals that they do each day. If you do it even longer for several months, that would be called ethnomethodology. And then if you want to just focus on one thing, like the cosmetics company, L'Oreal, that would be called the case study. So if you use these types of details and you replicate what is the best in the world doing, and if you replicate the same style and same format, you will look better. You will have better results. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm here to encourage you to try to do the best. Overall, what is important is to understand marketing. A lot of people market their ideas. A lot of people say, do this, do this, do this, or this is the way it's done, even if they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Sometimes look at Donald Trump, for example. He says a lot of things and he's wrong. So if you want to be successful, you must know what is good, reliable information and what is wrong or fake or BS information. And this chart shows you the world's most reliable, most trusted is from the Web of Science, or SSCI, and then Scopus, www.scopus.com. This is the best way to find it. So if you go to this website, scopus.com, and it asks you, do you want to log in through your university? If you press through Keimyung University, you can get in for free. And all of this information is very valuable. Usually each story, one story, for example, if you want to read Harvard Business Review, one story, sometimes you have to pay $30 to $50 to read one story. And if you want to read the whole journal, the whole magazine for all year, then it could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. The university pays millions of dollars to get access to this, and you can get it for free. So anything you write in your report, if you just get it from Facebook, everybody knows it's nice, but it's not valuable. If you get it from these valuable, expensive journals, that has value. You can just sell that information to L'Oreal Cosmetics or a company, and they should appreciate it because that's the best research in the world. So just taking 10 of the world's best journals and find an article and put it together and give that to a company, that alone should be very valuable. So reference at least 10 of these journals for marketing. Mr. Jung and Camille, I think I heard you talk about marketing quite a bit. The world's most reliable journal information, most reliable source of information, period, is through the Journal of Marketing. Next is the Journal of Marketing Research. Next is the Academy of Management. And then you look at in international business, international management, or strategic management, that Academy of Management has many magazines, many journals. Anything from the Academy of Management is very, very reliable and trusted. So Academy of Management Annals or Academy of Management Journal, or as we see down here at the bottom, Academy of Management Perspectives, those are all very valuable. Just to make sure that, try to line that up a little better so it's not messed up too much. So use this information. And then again, Forbes, Fortune, Harvard Business Review. I'm just going to assume all of you know about Harvard Business Review and Fortune and Forbes. They are respected, but experts in the world, people with PhDs and good researchers, they will laugh at them. Any idea what are the problems with these journals? Any idea? Maybe that's too much of a hard question. All of these top journals that are most respected, everything they do and say, they say it so a stranger can copy them and get the same results. So everything is believable. But with Harvard and Fortune and Forbes, they don't give any references. You can't check it. It's just they say it, and because I said it, that's it. You have to believe what I said. You have to trust me. So it is a lower level of trust. These journals don't give any references. The best journals in the world give references. So anyway, it's still reliable. If things market themselves well, like Harvard markets itself all the time. But then there's other ones like Time Magazine, The Economist, or Chanel, or Elle Magazine, or GQ Magazine. Those are more gossip focused without a expert person reviewing details. So those have less reliable sources of information than anything from a university or a school or government or company. Those also are only promoting good stories. They're marketing good information, not bad. So they're biased. Make sure you understand that. It's not often you hear, you go to our university website. When was the last time you saw on our website, our university saying, we suck at this, or we have this problem? You don't do that. You go to the student websites. Most valuable organizations in the world are usually run by students. Did you know that a lot of wars were created by students or started by students getting together and being able to learn some details and put them together and find out, hey, that's not right, or that's crazy. And then the students start protesting or demonstrating. That's what creates a lot of problems. So you students have a lot of power. You should, I encourage you, find what you love and promote it and fix it. Make the world a better place. I'll help you. I don't want to, I'll help you stay out of jail too. So hopefully that's clear. Again, the easiest way to become a specialist is to surround yourself with very respected, reliable, trusted people. And copy what is respected. Do the respected style. Since Mr. Jung wrote many papers, but he even forgot the name of his classes last year, maybe it's not the world's most reliable paper. But if you find a reliable article from one of these Scopus journals, and then you copy that same journal style and the format and tell people, I'm researching this following his style. I'm developing this famous person's details. It's hard to argue. Even if your ideas are crazy, people have to accept your format and style is good. So find a good article, even if you're going to be an undergraduate or graduate or PhD student, replicate the same style and format, just change details. So what is in green is an example of a student, what they did. They found this article. This is talking about marketing and the predictive power of social media, how social media can help companies market details and predict what the customers want. So this is a famous Scopus journal article. The students wrote the same thing, the same style, same format, and almost the same topic, but you have to be original. They changed from general information in Europe to focus on L'Oreal Cosmetics and how they can develop marketing strategies in Korea. I was teaching the class in Korea. And so the abstract is almost the same. The introduction is almost the same. The only difference is they changed it for one specific company they want to work with, and they changed it for the Korean area where they want to specialize in. Camille, I think I talked to you a little bit about this before. Can you remember any more about what this bottom charts are? What are these things that I'm showing at the bottom?
This is references of articles.
Yes, I can show you more about that if you'd like. Oh, it's not from this. This is a reference that we're talking about. Let me, where is it here? Oops, here it is. So this is the student paper. And as we saw there, I'll show you both at the same time. So here's one copy of it. And at the same time, this is what I was showing you. So the student paper, Mr. Jung, this is the student paper. This is the student abstract talking about understanding big data, how predicting the future, how predicting the future can help L'Oreal Cosmetics develop marketing strategies. It was created back in 2014, quite a long time ago. The abstract is almost the same as this. The introduction, my question for you, Mr. Jung, is how long would it take you to make this? How long do you think the students took to write this paper? Now I'm going to show it to you and then ask you, Mr. Jung, tell me, oh, I can do that in 10 minutes. So introduction is here. Literature review, they researched a lot of what other authors are saying. Research methodology, how they did their paper, then talking about L'Oreal marketing, what they're doing. They actually interviewed the CEO and the president of L'Oreal in Korea and the president of SAP to find SAP is one of the biggest information management companies in the world. They interviewed them, and these are quotes. It goes on, marketing trends, blah, blah, blah. What this shows is this researcher was saying this in this 2012. And Mr. Gobble, Gobble, Gobble in 2013, he said this. And then it goes on, and then it shows this. Camille, you remember this?
Yes.
This idea of, what is this table showing? The title says, yep.
All the article that the students have to read to do this work. All the references.
So, Mr. Jung, you heard Camille was just saying, these are articles that you have to do this or read all of this. So this is, all of these are research stories, research articles talking about social media and how these articles support social media can help predict the future. And this is saying social media has challenges. So down here, problems with social media predicting the future. And so over here, Akrar, he did a research in 2011. Althaus did research in 2011. Antwaler did research 2004. Answer Huburn 2010. So you see how many researchers did this guy do, Mr. Jung? Take a guess. Is that more than 10? What's that look like? 30 different articles or 50 different stories he did or he read? Does that look right to you? So this is one. This is another name. Here's another one. This is number 3, number 4. How many does this look like to you, Mr. Jung?
I think there is a lot of name. So that becomes more reliable.
Yes, and the conclusion is here. The references is here, very important. This yellow shows these are good, reliable references. So my question to you, Mr. Jung, is how long would it take you to make this paper?
I think 10 minutes is impossible. Maybe 3 months, 6 months,
3 months?
Entire period. It's really difficult to research every references that we have seen.
So you are thinking like a normal person. You are forgetting some of what I just showed you. Remember what I told you over here? The idea, if you do it this way, if you find an article that's already done, to make it yours, you have to change some details, but you can keep the same style and format, just change it from general marketing into marketing for a company, or change it from general information in Europe related to in Korea. So most people think like Mr. Jung. Wow, to do this paper, it's going to take me months. It's going to be hell. Oh my God. My point is, that is what most people might think and do. But you're forgetting strategy. I want to help you. This was created in 1 weekend. The whole paper, start to finish. They started it, they finished it. They started it on Friday night, and Monday morning they presented this. 1 weekend, 2 students finished it.
Oh. Wow.
They didn't work all the time because they're out on the weekend. They were having coffee and beer with me too. They started with me buying them drinks on one Friday night, and they said, okay, I had a bet with them if they could finish it in a weekend, and they won the bet. They finished in 1 weekend. So how did they do that? That idea of taking another paper, this is a student paper, but they also did a grant application. This is the actual research paper, Predicting the Power of Social Media, created by people in Greece and in Europe. These professors did that. The introduction, almost the same. The background literature is almost the same. The idea of those charts, these are the charts talking about marketing. Social media can predict the future for elections or microeconomics or macroeconomics or movies or product sales or stock market, web search, reviews, things like that. Then we keep going down, and eventually we will see this table, which is talking about supporting social media's predictive power. And this table is almost the exact same thing. Remember Akrauer, 2011, Althaus, Antweiler, it's the same table. The only difference is down here we see the student added 4 new articles because he updated it and he got some more information about Korea and more information about L'Oreal. He just added that, and now the paper is significantly different focus. Some of it is overlap, but it's a new focus on L'Oreal in Korea. He added 4 new articles, and now it's that student's paper. And they can finish it in a weekend. So my job is to teach you how to focus on what to do to get the best results, the fastest, most efficiently. You can't cheat. You have to reference properly, but there are ways to do things wisely. So with that said, I've taken a heck of a long time to just introduce the class. I'm going to come back and talk to you now about this. We've already gone through. Don't follow what other students do. Don't just follow what your mom says or other teachers do. Start thinking big. Understand the big picture. Start developing your specialization today. The idea of work wisely, focus on a company, use benefits from $1 trillion company that will pay you, maybe give you a grant to do your class project. You get money to research, you get money. The average company gives students sometimes $300,000 to $1 million to get a grant to develop a project. With $1 million, you can hire people in Europe, world experts from China, world experts from Brazil or Mexico, anywhere you want, to come and help you help a company. And everything is because you want to work for this local company. So you can write that project with staff working for you to make your project better. So that's just one example of what you can do. And then the grant to hire, to get that grant, usually it's very small. It's a lottery ticket. You write 100 words describing your university or the organization. Describe 100 words who you will work with to do your research. Describe 100 words, what is the purpose of your grant? What do you want to do? And then 100 words, why should the world care about it? And then just how much money you want and how fast are you going to spend it? That's it, 400 words. I've been working with this for quite a while, helping several people get these. This actually was created over 10 years ago. The new Ford Foundation is asking for, I believe, 400 characters, not 400 words. So just go to Google, type in any trillion-dollar company or multinational company name, comma, foundation, comma, grant, and that will probably show you how you can ask them to pay to do your class project. Talk to me and I'll help you develop your strategy to do it even better. So thanks, that's the class requirements. Now I'm going to go through and teach you the details of how to be more successful in life, since we've already gone through this. Any questions about the weekly project? Any questions about the term project?
I have one question about weekly assignment. Is the assignment related to article and video?
Is the assignment related to article and video? I'm not sure why you asked the question. There's two assignments. Assignment number one is to do one of the weekly projects.
Yes,
is that clear?
Weekly. I asked about the weekly project, and we can see.
Right. You can do a PPT about any one of these products, just 1 week, and you do a PPT about one of them. If you want, you can do more, and any more you do, any more you talk, I'll give you bonus points if you do more. So if you screw up your PPT or you screw up your writing paper, I will give you up to a maximum of 20 extra bonus points, 2 points every time you present more information or talk more in the class. Does that answer your question?
I mean, I would like to know the subject. I mean,
so
I'm not sure what is a weekly project mainly focused on.
Okay, then we go back to in the class outline. I sent you an email, strategic management outline. This will tell you my contacts and the format of the class, but at the bottom it says week 1, we talk about life strategies. Week 2, we talk about the introduction academic strategies. Week 3, we talk about personal and professional strategies for growth. Week 4, we talk about understanding the external environment for strategies. Week 5, understanding internal environment for strategies. Week 6 is talking about business plans and models, strategies to develop a business. Week 7 is when you present your PPT for the research term project. Week 8 is holiday. That's for other classes will have exam. That's the midterm break. Then week 9 is talking about strategic purpose. Then corporate strategy. Week 11 is general leadership strategy. So this first one, the weekly project, pick any one of these weeks and you make a PPT about it. That's it.
Just one?
Just one. One is the only requirement. If you do 2, the second one gives you bonus points. So if you make a mistake in anything, you can use the bonus points to upgrade. For example, if I give you 90% on your PPT, then you can use any bonuses to raise the 90% to 92. And if you get 2 extra bonus points, you can go from 90 to 92, then 94, and then 96. And I will give you up to 20 extra bonus points. Each time you share something extra is 2 extra bonus points. Next, if you want to change this, because our university has special management details that I understand, we can change what we study and the grading and evaluation format. We can change that in the first week or 2 weeks. If you want to change the topic or how we study and how you get graded, we can change that. Tell me now, or tell me this week, or tell me next week. After that, we have to lock in the details and keep it for the rest of the semester. So is that clear?
Yes, yes.
So any one of the weekly presentations, you get 20 points. And then for your all semester, you're researching something for your future, write a term paper, and then present the PPT, just draft, just a garbage PPT. Present your first draft by week 7. And usually you will have 1 week, you will introduce do a paragraph about your introduction. Why is it important? Then you do a paragraph talking about the background literature, what the literature says. Then you do a paragraph talking about your methodology and the results and the conclusion. So that is what you present by midterm. And then we will give suggestions to improve and how to make it better. And you have many more weeks. So in week 15, you present your written paper, and that's worth 40 points. And usually it's like this. But if you want to try a different style, negotiate with me before week 3. So in week 1 or 2, tell me you want a different style. Tell me you want, Ms. Hua, you were talking to me about the topics and the sign up. Can you show on your screen the sign up details?
Yes. So hold on, I need to all right. Sorry guys. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Is that necessary? Or
we're waiting for you to talk, however you want to do it.
Okay, so if you go to class outline, you will see the link of the Google form.
Yes, this is the outline, and at the bottom is the sign up form.
Yeah, there's another sheet. It's called sign up, and you click on the Google form. Do you see the Google form there? Yes, you click on that. And it will lead you to a form that you need to sign in, and basically you need to put on your email address, your weekly topic, which is the most important one, so we can know which one you want to talk about. And yeah, that's it. Is there...
And we need to do the term project too. We will add that so that will be in it. So just tell us what term project you like and what weekly topic you like.
Yeah.
And then we move on. So the next, any questions about that? No questions? Okay. So feel free to ask questions. Any questions, anytime is okay. We have a small group, so we can customize details for you. This I have explained is what is the best information and regular popular information. Today, I want to focus a little bit of time on how you can develop your own strategy for success. Usually, a lot of people talk about success with dollar signs. Most people think successful people are people that are billionaires or millionaires. Whether you agree or not, talk anytime. You can yell out anytime. I'm just going to assume you are like most people and you think, yes, usually the more money you have, the more successful you have. And so I will help you with that. Most people think investing and getting good money is the best. Getting a good job, working for a big company is the best. Working for Samsung is better than working for McDonald's. I don't know. And so that concept is usually what most people spend most of their life on. And they don't realize that it's not the best strategy for success. I want to point out, if you strategically plan and develop happiness and success, you will be much more successful. So, Camille, do you plan your life, or do you just accept what life gives you? Are you at school because your mom and your teacher said go to school, or do you plan yourself?
No, it's a freestyle. I don't plan my life.
So you don't plan, you just do whatever life gives you.
Yes.
How about I give you some research? More than 90% of the world works very hard, and usually they will complain about their boss, they'll complain about their manager, and then they hope, I want to go to France, I want to go to Chile or Mexico or some other country, but I'm too busy working, I don't have enough money, I will do that travel when I retire. That sounds popular, Mr. Jung? A lot of people say, I will do this fancy stuff after I retire, my dream. The problem is, more than 90% of the world, they work up to 60 years, and then they're complaining a lot of the time. And when they get to retirement, then they realize, okay, it's time to start traveling, but they look at the bank information and say, shit, I don't have any money in my bank to travel. So they don't have the ability to live the dream they've been working for. All of the money they've been making has been going to this company paying them a small salary. So just accepting what life does will put you in that same direction that 90% of people usually have difficulty getting their goals and getting their dreams, whether it's money or happiness or whatever. So planning the details, especially writing it down, it's guaranteed to help you. The details are, the more you write down your plans every day or every week or every month, the more you do it, the faster you will get what you want. And when you start, even if you start from knowing zero, if you don't know anything, the first day you start by writing, you will learn something. And then if you do it 2 days, you learn more. 3 days, a week, a month, you're going to learn more. The more you do it, the better you get at it. I've been doing it so much that it's easy for me now. And so you need to start by asking questions. What makes you happy? Who are you? Mr. Jung, you already answered this. How do you know who you are? Or who are you? You talked about MBTI. What is MBTI?
MBTI is the tool that helps you find your personality and what you your value, something like that.
Yes.
It's like psychological test. So
this website that I'm showing now, you guys can see on my screen, MBTI was developed by Carl Jung, and he developed a profiler to identify what is your character, what are your abilities, what is your personality, because there's 16 different personalities, and each one has a different ability, and it matches a certain job. So if you have a job that matches your ability and your personality, you do better at it than if you do something that doesn't match your style. Like some people are born to be a salesperson, but some people are born to be an accountant. Very different personalities and characters. So if you take this quiz, it's generally about 50 questions, and it just yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. You will be told what is your personality type, and then what type of job matches you, what type of marriage matches you, what type of career and how to communicate matches you. That is what we're talking about. And so I want to talk about that. Start with understanding you first. Next, after we understand that, is that clear to you, Camille? So who are you? Most people don't know. So most people think, I know who I am. And I've been doing this for so many years, I'm not even going to quiz you. I'm not going to ask you, because you will probably say, I am a person that likes this, and I do these type of things. But those answers are the exact same answer that somebody in a different country, in the same type of city, will say. I eat, what is Thai culture? Or maybe my background is from Vietnam. Well, what is your Vietnam culture? Well, Vietnam is, we have pho noodles and this noodle food. That's not who you are. That's just a food you like. But somebody in New York can also like that same food. So most people don't know who they are, so that they know how they're different than somebody else. So start to understand who you are. Then the next question is, how should you live your life, or how can you live your life? Most people don't know the difference. Most people work really hard at a big company like Samsung, and then they might not be able to get their dream. So can you be happy and work and earn money separately from your main job? I do. My main income is not designed around teaching. When you think of me, I have 13 years of like high school, then 17 years of university classes and training, plus 20 more years teaching on the job training, plus I've had over 20 years of executive experience. They think that is who I am. I am a professor, so my money comes from that. But no, that's not how I earn my living. So I want you guys to understand they don't have to be the same. If you think of the big picture, it can be different. So the definition, some people confuse the idea. What is success? Most people think success and money are almost the same. Well, first of all, wealthy means your invested assets generate income to fund your standard of living. That's wealthy. Probably all of us are wealthy. You can do what you want to do for your standard of living. Rich is your non-work passive income equals or exceeds living expense. You're happy if you know who you are and you do work you love and you have passive income that passes active income. Now I'm getting into details that you might not understand. And I'm not going to repeat too much unless you ask questions. So I'm going to keep teaching things for the general idea that you understand, because this class, everything I'm saying, it's already in the syllabus. You can watch this by video. This slide that we're teaching has been videoed. And so you can hang up the Zoom from me and just go watch the video if I'm boring. You can rewind it if you want, or fast forward. This guy's so boring, I'm going to push 2 times fast forward. So if you have questions about this, ask. That's where you get most value. I'm going to jump to the biggest thing. This idea that almost everybody knows, rich people or wealthy people, what is something common about them? They have money. Great. What else? If you define Mr. Jung or Camille or Hua or Ina, if any of you define somebody that's rich or wealthy, what do they have? What is similar? They have money. Yes, that's number one. Number two, do you agree that most rich people and most wealthy people also have real estate or a property? Have you heard that? Do you agree?
Yes, I think they have property.
Good. Well, why? Most people don't teach that in school.
Yes.
Do you agree, Mr. Jung? Most rich people also have property, own property?
Yes.
Most poor people rent. So why? And that's why we have this picture here. And I want to get you thinking in a different way. I don't want to change you financially. I want to change the strategy and the management of how you think in this class. So if you're interested in teaching, I'm going to teach you some ways to think and give information. If Mr. Jung and Camille, you're focused on marketing, I want to teach you how to understand the other person so you can make them happier, do better marketing. And I'm going to start with the strategy for money. So most people, they work really hard, they go to school, they go to university just to get a job, to work in a big company, to get a paycheck, right? But that's foolish. I am arguing that's bad. I'm just going to assume, Camille, have you ever heard of a zero money down payment mortgage? Have you ever heard of a zero down loan?
No.
Where you can borrow money and you don't have to pay a deposit?
No.
No, in 2008, the world had a global financial crisis and a mortgage and housing crisis. Mr. Jung, have you heard of that? Zero money down or problems with mortgages?
Yes, yes.
There are ways banks want you as a customer. So there are ways where you can get to be a customer from a bank and you don't need anything to start, zero money down. And in the United States, it's called the 203K program or an Oklahoma financing deal. Other ways, the popular way is you can start your investment with 5% deposit in some countries. In Korea, generally you need at least 20 to 40% down payment deposit to start. In Vietnam, usually you need 20 to 60% deposit to borrow something. So those are just general ideas. Now look at a real life case. So if we click on this, this is showing you, I'm just gonna open some other websites at the same time. That will open slowly. Oops. It's off the market already. These are active listening, so they're changing all the time. This is saying I could buy this house, and to buy this house, it's in Toronto, Canada. You need almost $900,000. That's the price of the house. But as we just said, you can borrow money to get the house. If you pay zero money and get a contract, you could own this, but you just have to pay the bank every month. And this house has 3 different apartments. One apartment upstairs, 3 bedrooms, a kitchen and 2 bathrooms upstairs. And in the basement, there's 2 separate 2-bedroom apartments, each with a kitchen, washroom, etc. So there's 3 different units in this one house. And this shows if you have a 2-bedroom apartment, you can rent it for $2,100. If you have a 3-bedroom apartment, you can rent it for $2,600. What that means is if you own this house and you rent it, this could give you about $6,900, I believe, 2,100 plus 2,100 plus 2,600, more than 6,000, almost $6,900 you can get in cash every month from this house. Does that make sense, Mr. Jung?
Yes.
Okay, and we understand that sometimes you can buy the house for zero deposit. So to pay the bank every month, the mortgage payment, surprisingly, is usually about $2,000 a month to borrow all of this money. So you only have to pay $2,000 a month, but Camille, how much money does this house give you?
Can you repeat, please?
Yes. To borrow all of this money from a bank, you generally have to pay the bank all of it back, generally over about 25 or 30 years. And so every month you have to pay about $2,000.
Yes.
Each year, that's about $24,000 a year you have to pay the bank. $2,000 a month is normal contract. And at the same time, if you buy this house has 3 apartments. One apartment has 3 bedrooms. It rents for $2,600.
Yes.
So does it make sense? You're going to get about $6,900 from the tenants, and you have to take $2,000 to pay the bank, and you own it. Understand?
Yes.
So every month, this house will give you $4,000 cash, plus the people living here, the tenants, will pay for you to buy it and own it. After 30 years, you own everything, plus $4,000 cash every month. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that $4,000 a month, Mr. Jung, can you understand why that is nothing? That is not important. Strategically, it's bad to focus on that money. Is that confusing? It should be confusing. I want you to start asking questions. The idea now is that money is not important to touch. money is just an idea. If you understand what I just told you, you could get contracts to own this house and the tenants buy it for you. And then the house after 1 year will go up in value. Every year, the price of a house usually goes up, correct? So if you buy a property or an apartment this year, next year, it's going to be worth more. 10 years later, it's going to be worth much more. Make sense, Mr. Jung?
Yes, possibly.
And on average, in Canada, for example, in the city, the house prices are going up from 15 to 20% going up every year. So if you have one tenant living in it, he will pay you for money you can use for the bank to buy it, and the other person is paying you rent that is profit for you. And that house will go up in value, maybe 20%. So because it's 20% more, the bank will give you that 20% extra to do anything. You can use that to buy 2 more houses. So at the end of 1 year, you have one house that the tenants bought plus extra money that you can buy 2 more places. Then after 2 years, price 1 goes up again. You can buy 2 more places. Number B, you can buy 2 more, plus C, you can buy 2 more. So that's that strange idea that nobody talks about, I think, is the smartest way in the world. And how much do you have to work every day for that job? All you need to do is get the house and put an advertisement online to get customers to make a contract to rent the place. If you want somebody to help manage it, if there's a problem shoveling the snow or cutting the grass, you give one person a discount and they will shovel the snow or cut the grass. Does that sense make?
Yes.
No comment. I should be confusing you, but I'm telling you, you could get a property for 0 money or for free. And shockingly, there's a way that you can get paid to take something. And every month, you'll get almost the same salary that you get from Samsung. But all you need to do is own the house and the tenants pay you, which means you don't have to work, except you need to just make a new rental contract once a year. So renew the rental or do your tax filing once a year. Some people do this, less than 10 hours of work a year, and they get $4,000 a month salary, plus this house, $900,000, goes up in value 20% in 1 year. So that's almost $200,000 extra each year it goes up in value. I'm getting excited. I'm talking too fast. Camelia, I thought your job was to tell me to shut up and slow down, old man, if I talk too fast or get too excited.
Yes, it's a little bit fast for me.
So, a little bit, I don't believe it. I think it's super fast because I love this topic. And Mr. Jung, is it okay if I start teaching in French? My French is very rusty, but I'm actually part French. To help Camille, maybe we can teach the rest of the class in French. Is that okay, Mr. Jung, or should we continue in English? Or what about change to Korean? 한국말 더 좋아요? 계속 한국말 하고 싶어요? 아니면 영어 더 좋아요?
Well, I don't actually mind, but you're really good at Korean.
거짓말 하지 마요. 감사합니다. I could teach in the other languages, but my point is the only way to get real benefit is you guys need to ask questions. So I'm just showing you that what we just said, almost nobody talks about. Why? Because most of the world is kind of poor or struggling, and the rich people, if they talk about it to the poor, struggling people, the poor people usually get angry, so they don't talk about it. And if we go back to this again, that house, the house doesn't change. The contract doesn't change. The tenants don't change. Nothing changes. So it's boring. How many people want to talk about something that's boring? Nobody. What do people talk about related to money? If you go to the TV or the newspaper, talking about money, what do most people talk about? They talk about stocks. right? Talk about the stock market. Tesla stock is up today, or Microsoft stock is down today. That's what people talk about because every day it can go up and down. The problem is stocks give less benefit and much more risk than real estate. But real estate is usually boring. So the idea of the history and the reality shows that most investors lose too much of their money. Not all. If you do it well, you can do very well. But investing without proper research will lead to loss. You should look at your strategy and the management details. Is my cartoon clear to understand, Camille?
Yes.
This guy, Mr. Jung, can you read the green on the page?
24 years old, semi-retired from saving and real estate investing.
He was a student of mine around 2001. And by 2005, he was retired. When he started as a student of mine, he was poor. He was in Korea, and he was just a poor backpacking type of English teacher. Do you think English teachers make a heck of a lot of money in Korea, Mr. Jung? Not so much. Right? They're not enough to retire. This guy did it. He realized and he asked questions about this, and he learned how to do this. And just based off of this guy is now, you can check his Facebook. His name is Carl Mancini. He was a student of mine. He's now retired, even though he's from Canada. He's now living on a beach in Central America, in Nicaragua, surfing every day. So there's many types of investors. You can be a young, upwardly mobile professional. You can be a double income couple with no kids. You can be a young family, midlife crisis, retiree. Most people think about investing when they're getting close to retiring and they're having money problems. Every investor will have different styles, different goals, different levels of wealth. You must understand expertise is important. The liabilities, regulations, the details are important. But if you start thinking outside of most people talk about something, and if you think of things in depth, if you own the house, you control almost everything. As long as you pay the bank $2,000 a month, it's yours. As long as you pay the tax, which might be about $700, the property is yours. You're not going to get the house taken away from you. As long as you have that, you're not going to have too many problems. Yes, if a drug dealer comes in or they kill a lot of people, they might take the house from you. So don't try to sell it to too many drug dealers. But drug dealers will pay much higher rent. So my point is just think differently. Think of these details. To start with, Juan, Ina, how much time do we have with class so far? I'm getting too excited. Should I fly through this or do we still have time?
I think our class is supposed to be close and
it's supposed to be finished already?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, so I will finish. I'm generally telling you, understand that interest is important. Just if you don't know interest, you're going to lose a lot of money. This is showing the idea of interest. 18-year-old, if you start investing $2,000 only for 6 years, so you invest a small amount, you will get almost $750,000. But if you wait until you're closer to my age or 30 years old, then you invest $2,000 every year forever until you retire, you will still have less than the 18-year-old that only invested for 6 years. So the sooner you learn, the better. This shows there's many types of investment. This shows research shows that there's a lot of research showing investing in stocks and companies is dangerous. The pictures aren't showing up here. This is showing the average stock market prices are usually better. Real estate is generally giving you about 11% profit per year with only 5% risk. Stock market gives you about the same 12%, but 17% risk. So real estate is usually very good, low risk. And there's other details that show actually real estate is much, much better. I'm not promoting real estate, I'm promoting a different thinking style. So know that there's many ways to invest, and there's it's important to understand your time. If you invest 10,000 hours into something, you will be good at it. Start managing your time to invest in what you want. Make your plans, Camille. Stop not writing it and start trying to do it, and you will be more successful. This is talking about how to develop a plan for your future or for a business. This is what Mr. Jung was talking about, the MBTI. You can go through this website, which is www.humanmetrics.com. I will teach that later in class also. This talks about if you do invest your own business, the chances are it will be successful if you have a written plan. And these are just suggestions and tips. So we are finished. I've talked about many crazy things and probably talked way too much. Any questions before we go?
No.
Nope. Okay. You can go. I will start our class very early before the class starts. Right, Camille? Even
Yes.
today, I started a little bit early. I do that almost all the time because I'm a geek. I'm a freak. I love this topic and I talk about it all the time. If you ask Mr. Jung about sports, he probably knows something about sports. I know how to play sports, but I don't know anything about what's on the news with sports. I don't know about clubbing or stuff like that. I know, I know management. So you can arrive early to the class if you have questions, because it's going to be a small group, only 8 students. I will be able to customize this class for you. Please go through, fill out this sign-up form that you can get in the class outline. Tell me what is the weekly topic you want to do and the term project topic you want to do, and we'll explain. That's it. Any comments, Camille?
Oh, no, it's okay.
What about you, Mr. Jung? Do you have another class right now? Do you have to go? Do you need to run away from me? Because
I have to go, actually.
Okay. No problem. I look forward to seeing you guys next class. I believe our next class is on Friday, right? Is that right? Yes, Friday at 9 a.m. See you bright and early on Friday. I'll bring some coffee. Anything else I can help you with? Camille, do you have a class now too?
Yes.
Okay, I guess I think we need to be quiet. You guys can hang up on me anytime. I'm going to stop recording now.